I really haven't asked you the imperative question, right? Well, today or ever, when we meet somebody, the first question that we ask each other is, how are you? Yes, that's my question to you. How are you doing today? That is one thing that I cannot really, wait to ask you. And I hope, you can see it on your screen. Maima, kindly confirm that everybody can see my screen now. Can they?
It's a blank
Mm,
slide.
it's a blank slide. Okay. Uh, Maima, do you think you'll be able to push? Till then, I'm going to request Duhita to kindly just push this into the link into the chat window. I really would love to ask you, how did your week go? Yes, not a day or two. How was your week? How did the week go? It's a good way to find out how you've been feeling and how is it that I can take you forward over here. As you do so, allow me to actually look at the chat window and give Mahima a chance to look at the chat window to see if there are any imperative questions that need to be answered. Mahima, anything that needs to be answered over there, or are we doing good? I think the link has been pushed. Maybe please, have your responses there. I would love to see what is it that you have been doing this week, how you've been feeling, so that we are able to have a better idea about how you're doing. So I'm going to again try and push my screen and see if I can get you there. And you know what? The day you don't want these technology challenges coming in, you're certain that you will have those. So allow me another chance to just come to you via this screen. Let me just see. Okay, let me just see if you can you see my screen now? Are you
No,
able to see
actually,
how
no,
did this week feel for you? Okay,
no.
We
give
did see
me
something in
about,
between. We
okay, you
did
did?
see something in between, yeah.
Thank you, Niharika. I'm just going to change my device. Just give me a minute. I will be back in just about a minute. Just give me 1 second. Okay, let me see if I can push my. Okay, this some screen that has come up. I'm going to push this one, and I will try and change my screen till then. There you go. We got it. Okay. I'm just going to change my device, and I'll be split of a second, and I'll share with you the results. I'm sure by that time we have the results on, and we will be happy to move onwards, take our session, and take it with the pinch of salt that some things just didn't have to work today. Okay. Okay, I'm back and I'm just going to see if we have the results here. And yes, good. We are seeing your responses. Awesome. Let them come in. I will just see where we are. Okay, just a minute. Okay. All right. I have a beautiful vision. I would love to share this with you. So, whoever is sharing the screen, I'm taking it away from you and I'm going to share my screen here. Now, can you see my screen?
That's cute.
Okay, fantastic. Here
Yes.
you go. Yes, thank you so much. And here you go. That is how you're feeling. I love the joy and excitement. Look at that. That's simple check-in on you. And I'm loving that, what you're really liking is you're comfortable, you're confident, you're grateful, you're excited, you're creative, you're Oh, absolutely great. You're grateful. You're successful. I'm absolutely loving this. So, thank you so much for sharing your beautiful thoughts with us. This is exactly what we were looking for. Okay, so keep them coming because I'm really going to go ahead and share this in some time once again. It's always great to see how you all are feeling. So fantastic. You know why? Because name your feeling. Harvard studies suggest that when you name your feeling, they become 50% less intense. I hope you keep the tempo on, and I hope your feelings stay as great as ever. Yes, we are on that stage where we are going to go ahead and talk about our opening note with Marx Powell. Yes, none other than Marx Powell. I do not have enough words to introduce him. I'm in absolute gratitude, but it is my honor, privilege, and my delight to have Marx Powell as our keynote speaker for Nurturing Education Summit 2025. And Mark is an education thought leader, global keynote speaker, author, well-being and SEL consultant, technology executive, podcaster, influencer, and above all, director of marketing education, Microsoft Worldwide. Thank you, Mark, for and for having joined us here and sharing your keynote with us. I'm sure you've been inspired by many, but let's take a look at this keynote.
G'day everyone. Shortly you'll be hearing the keynote that I've prepared for you, but I just wanted to take a few moments before we jump into it. This summit on AI-powered digital pedagogy brings together some incredible speakers sharing impactful research and evidence-based practices. Can't wait for you to find out some of the new ideas and strategies. AI is transforming learning landscapes, but this is as much a human transformation as a technological one. As we bring our experiences as experts in learning design and knowledge of learners and how they learn, of the curriculum and how to teach, and lever these tools to design the kinds of learning experiences which inspire curiosity, drive investigation, and lift every student to do more, be more, and expect more. When innovative technologies are in the hands of skilled educators, all of you in this room, that's when we can explore what's possible. Enjoy the keynote, enjoy the summit.
G'day everyone. Welcome to the Nurturing Education Summit. Delighted to have you here. My name is Mark Sparble. I'm a Director of Education with Microsoft, and I'm here to share with you the secret sauce for humanizing AI in education. I've been involved in education now for 35 years. Many years as a teacher, assistant principal, director, IT teacher, all of those things like many of you in the room. I've spent time working for professional associations, building leader capacity across Southeast Asia, and for the last 10 years, I've had the great privilege to work for Microsoft Education based in Washington State over here in the US. And again, thank you to the organizers for arranging this summit around these very important agenda items right now. But to the audience, let's kick off just with an act of gratitude, a thank you. Thank you for everything you do for your students and your staff and communities each and every day. I know from experience that our profession is one that has an emotional toil. It's part of the care industry, and it's complicated and it's challenging and it's wonderful. But thank you for everything that you do. When I thought about this topic, humanizing AI in education, it led me to think, what do we mean about being human? What makes us human? And what do we mean by intelligence, especially in this era of artificial intelligence? Being human means that we experience emotions, multitudes of them. In fact, the word emotion comes from the Latin word moto, which means to be in motion. So the word emotion literally means to be in motion. Our emotions fluctuate. And it's very hard to identify how somebody is feeling by how they look, how they sound, or how they behave. As you can see from the pictures here, the only way we can really work out how people are feeling is to ask them, to be more of an emotion detective and less of an emotion judge. More on that in a little bit. Education is at a curious time right now, with challenges and opportunities all brought about with the rise of AI in November 2022, moving into the education space. If you like, for the first time, we now have access to AI that's as empowering as it is powerful and available to everyone. Microsoft's mission has always been to empower every learner on the planet to achieve more. And when we talk about empower, we mean empower with skills, knowledge, disposition. When we talk about achieve, we mean academically, socially, and also through positive civic participation. And importantly, when we say every learner, we mean regardless of ability or disability, mobility, income, or identity. How do we give every kid the best seat in the house? And what's the opportunity that AI presents in terms of helping us to achieve this? AI usage has jumped from 45% in 2023 to 86% in 2024. I would hazard a guess it's sitting in the high 90% in 2025. And that's brought many wonderful AI-powered tools into the education space. But how do you navigate that? There seems to be a lot of tools for a lot of purposes. And you have to ask yourself when making choices in education, who can access the data? Where is it stored? How is it disposed of? How is it used? Is my data being used to train large language models? Is it being used for marketing? So understanding whether tools are trustworthy, reliable, transparent, equitable is very important. It's why Microsoft has developed its AI responsibility framework to help us navigate those choices too. So apart from this plethora of AI tools, we also know that the kick-on effects of COVID are still impacting students' social and emotional development. 1 in 7 10 to 19-year-olds experiences a mental disorder at the moment, and this is pretty similar across the globe. And the world of work is shifting in its prioritization of skills. 82% of leaders say employees will need new skills to prepare for AI. And if you look at this data on the screen at the moment, you'll notice that the first 5 are very human skills. This is from the 2023 Work Trend Index: analytical judgment, cognitive flexibility, emotional intelligence, creative evaluation, and intellectual curiosity are the top 5 skills to prepare for AI. The last 2 are very technical skills. And we see that data backed up in other data sets. The McKinsey & Company's New Future Ready Skills noted that there would be a predicted reduction in total hours spent on physical and manual skills, basic cognitive skills, and there would be an increase in the demand for higher cognitive skills like cognitive flexibility, emotional intelligence. There would be a significant increase in social and emotional skills, the ability to navigate your own emotions and the emotions of others. And there will be a huge increase in the requirement around technological skills as every industry is transformed by AI. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of choices. There's a lot of trauma still. There's a shifting skill set in the workplace. How do we navigate that in education? What we need, in a sense, is something to help us focus around what matters most. We need a lens to listen through the noise and be able to focus in and identify the things that make a difference and the things that our young people need to flourish in the future, to get a job, create a job, keep a job, to live a life and be happy. That should be our focus. In Microsoft, we explore the power of possible of AI in education through this lens here. And you can see that we ask ourselves questions about, will this tool or this program help accelerate learning? Will it help every student keep up, catch up, get ahead? Will it prepare students for the future with the skills and dispositions that they need? Will it prepare them with the tools that they might be using in the workplace? We know that operating in an environment that is simple to manage and secure is critical. And I mentioned before, we need to be very clear about where data is stored, accessed, retained, or disposed of. And we know that schools and systems are always looking for ways to improve efficiencies so they can redirect resources to where they're needed the most. Resources of time, people, and money. And when we reimagine these activities of accelerating learning, skilling for the future, securing and driving efficiencies, when we reimagine those with AI, we're able to support schools and systems to provide more equitable education, to reach every student and provide them all with opportunities to do their best, be their best, and contribute their best. That helps us to focus. When we think about humanizing, I want to just run through some key things for me around social and emotional learning. That's the process by which we develop social and emotional skills. For me, social and emotional learning is fundamental. It's not ornamental. It's a critical part of students' learning experiences, and it directly impacts academic learning and lifelong effects that kick on through a student's life, from employment, volunteering, general satisfaction with life, can all be traced back to exposure to social and emotional learning in the early years. When we look at these skills, for me, these are hard skills, not soft skills. If you want to find a really strong person, find a kind person, because strong people are able to delay gratification, to self-regulate, to be compassionate, to be forgiving, to be kind. Strong people do that. These are hard skills. They're hard to teach, hard to apply, and also hard to test and assess, but they're not soft skills. Remember this when making choices around technology and pedagogical choices. Learning is a social process, therefore it's an emotional process. Learning is something best done together. And John Hattie, the author of Visible Learning, would say that any technology, including AI, must be part of the social learning environment. Emotional intelligence, that ability to recognize and understand, label and express emotions, must be intentionally taught. There should be no accidental incidents of social emotional learning. It must be intentionally taught, and best if it's taught throughout the curriculum. And this is important for all of us because emotions are contagious. The contagion effect means that we mirror the emotions of others. And a bad mood of a teacher can infect a class, and a good mood of a leader can infect a school. So we need to be careful what we're spreading in our schools and our classrooms. And the way to be careful is to develop emotional intelligence. That way we can regulate our own emotions and ensure that what we're passing on to others are positive, pleasant emotions. And this matters because emotions are the gatekeeper for how we think, where we find our drive to do what we do, our motivation, and where we invest our most limited resource, which is our attention. Anytime we can skill up students around emotional intelligence reduces their stress. And our brains are built for stress, but they hate being out of control. So students need opportunities to have voice, to have choices, and to have agency. So how can we use technology? how can we use AI to help us with social and emotional learning? Well, I'm glad you asked. Here's a quick example that I'll just pop up on the screen for you. So I've gone to the prompt library in AI for Education here, and they've got a whole pile of ready-made prompts for you in social and emotional learning. So let's see if I'm going to have mindful class meetings. Plan a class meeting agenda to foster social awareness. Let's click on that. And there's some example prompts, additional prompts. So let's grab an example prompt. I'm just going to copy it out. I'm going to paste it into my favorite tool, which is Copilot. And click go. So the prompt is, you're an expert educator, you understand the CASTLE framework, you want a 10-minute class meeting agenda for a 2nd grade class. Here it is. This is how the meeting might run, everything from a high five to what does it mean to be a good friend and some role-playing scenarios. That's an instant activity for a busy teacher. Let's try another one. Let's try reflective journaling. So I'm clicking on this, create reflective journaling prompts using an AI chatbot. Okay, here's the prompt. So again, this was using the CASTLE framework, the Collaborative for Academic and Social and Emotional Learning. I'm copying out the prompt. I'm simply pasting it into copilot.microsoft.com. And let's see what it comes up with. You're tasked to create a list of 5 journal reflections to prompts to help my 4th grade students. Here we go. There are 5 prompts. This is how AI can help a busy teacher develop social and emotional learning. Just as I wrap up, I want to have a quick talk about the impact of Microsoft Reflect, reflect.ms. I'll make sure you have the link. If you're not familiar with it, Microsoft Reflect sits inside of Microsoft Teams and provides check-ins for learners and essentially makes visible what largely is invisible, which is how a student's feeling. You can create one very easily by using a new check-in on how are you feeling. You can grab some example questions around how are you feeling about your reading skills, or how are you feeling about your progress this year? How are you feeling about friendships at school? You can customize it by setting an amount of time, even changing whether the language is complex or more simple language. Then the students are simply asked to choose from pleasant to unpleasant, first of all, how they're feeling, and then they're prompted to dig into that, to develop that emotional granularity by choosing the words. They can also have those read to them, and it's available in dozens and dozens of languages. The cool thing is the data is shown in 2 ways. One way which you can present back to the students is in together mode with the incredibly cute feeling monsters, and the other, powered by AI, provides the analytics for the educator, identifying commonly used words, identifying trends over time, and aggregated information around the types of emotions being used. Reflect contains activities for meditating, moving, playing, music to listen to, and podcasts, including content in partnership with Calm and content with Disney Pixar. So as we wrap up this fast keynote, AI can enhance student efficacy. It can give them, that means, a sense of control and a sense of capacity. It can enhance their motivation and confidence because it has an endlessly patient tutor. AI can support educators in planning active learning, intervention, specific social and emotional activities, and this can help you drive a more inclusive classroom by ensuring that non-stigmatizing differentiation. AI can identify trends early and often. It can do things like sentiment analysis. AI can be used as a conversation catalyst and can help consider alternative perspectives. And AI should always be used as part of the social learning classroom. It's best used together. So I said at the top, I was going to tell you what the secret sauce was for humanizing AI in education. And, drum roll please, the secret sauce is you. You are the secret sauce, educators in the room at this summit right now, because you are professional educators. You are the experts in learning design. You are creative as a profession. You are kind. That's why you're drawn to this profession. And you are human. Your qualities make you unique in this age of AI and not replaceable. I'm Mark Sparble, wrapping up. I have a book out, Good Brain, Bad Brain. You can't believe everything you think. The QR code is on the screen, perfect for your staff meetings book club. Invite me in to chat about it. But in wrapping up, simply thanks. Thanks for everything you do each and every day for your students, your staff, and your community. Enjoy the rest of the summer.
Thank you, Mark. You actually made me feel amazing. And my key takeaway would be the line where he put, social emotional learning is not just, it's fundamental, not ornamental. I love that. Not sure what your key takeaway is because each one has its own. So go ahead and share that in the chat window. And as UNESCO's theme of the year is humanizing AI, Mark's keynote just comes in at the perfect time. So we extend our deepest gratitude to Mark for sharing his time, expertise, and vision with us.